This was the game the Dallas Cowboys needed to get back on track for the playoffs. Absolutely a set-right game against basically a high school football team. Washington football team was just decimated by COVID, injuries. None of that matters because this is an absolute get-right game for the Dallas Cowboys. They put up 56 points. They scored on offense, defense, special teams. And you know what? This was a game they absolutely needed heading into the final stretch of the season and then into the playoffs. Let's talk about it. Absolute domination by the Dallas Cowboys playing against Bishop Sycamore. Washington football team. Completely embarrassing. Dak Prescott goes out. Game was over by basically halftime. Really, probably the first quarter. It was 21-0, I believe, at the end of the first quarter. Dak throws for 330 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was 28 of 39. On the other side, Tyler Heinicke had a really good stat line for like a high school quarterback. It's too bad he's in the NFL. First play of the game, really funny. Coaches typically script the first 15 calls on offense, and their plan was to, on the very first play of the game, throw a deep ball to their best player on offense, Terry McLaurin, who's a really good receiver. Don't get me wrong. Their plan was to go out, throw a deep ball, one-on-one, Terry McLaurin versus Trayvon Diggs. Diggs, of course, intercepts it because, what else is going to happen in that scenario? Man's got 11 picks now, tying Everson Walls for the Cowboys. Single season record. So congrats, Trayvon Diggs. Let's see you break that record now. Heinicke throws the pick, and from there on out is basically just an avalanche. Washington football team completely falls apart. Heinicke had 7 completions at 22 attempts, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. So very embarrassing for him. Very embarrassing day for the Washington football team. Zeke only carried 9 times. It seemed like he carried more than that, but he really didn't play a heck of a lot in the game. Looked like it was a Dak Prescott show all first half. However, what I'll say is the runs that Zeke did have, he averaged 4.1 yards per attempt, 37 yards, 9 carries. That ground game, I believe, is what allowed, at least to an extent, the passing game to absolutely flourish. It seemed like every time Zeke got the ball, he was punishing defenders. He was picking up positive yardage. And as a result, Washington football team had to respect that. And that allowed Dak to really just dismantle the secondary. Now, I'm pretty sure even without a ground game, same result would have taken place. Washington football team is just absolutely torn apart right now via COVID and just injuries. So they're basically no better than a high school football team at this point. Just an unfortunate kind of turn in the season for them. But their season was pretty much over anyways. So, that is what it is. We had Tony Pollard also had a decent night, 4.3 yards per carry. It was great to see Dak Prescott take off a few times this game. He hasn't done that in the past few weeks, and I think that is an absolute weapon that Dak and the Cowboys are not utilizing. When you've got 3 just phenomenal receivers and then 2, above average receivers on the roster, maybe even 6. I don't even know how many receivers they have on the depth chart, but it seems like every single receiver on the team is making plays, and then you throw in Dalton Schultz at tight end, and it's just like, Jesus, these guys are just absolutely stacked, for guys that can catch the football. It's just insane. With that being said, you take away all those guys. Let's say there's nothing open in the secondary, and now you've got Dak Prescott that can go run for 5, 10, 15 yards. Just an absolute powerhouse football team when they're clicking on all cylinders and not committing stupid penalties, not dropping passes, not beating themselves. We also had a DeMarcus Lawrence pick of the century, looking like Randy Gregory over here, just reaching up, batting the ball down to himself, and then the man turns into a tailback and stiff arms a guy. Jukes out diving Heinicke that was trying to go for his legs and just failed miserably, and scores a touchdown. So we had a defensive touchdown there. We had a special teams block on a punt block. Clement, he went in and hit it with his hand. Kind of a weird looking punt block. He didn't dive for it. He just happened to kind of get his hand in the way, and it was a great play by him. And the ball was recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. So he had a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown as well. So Cowboys is clicking on absolutely all cylinders at this point. So hopefully they can keep this momentum moving forward into the playoffs. We'll see a little tougher assignment next week. They have the Arizona Cardinals on the schedule. Now, obviously, the Cardinals are falling apart at the seams. Lost to the horrible Lions team a couple weeks ago. Lost again on Sunday. Just not looking like a good football team right now, but they are up there as far as rankings go. They are, I believe, 10 and... What are the Cardinals? Let's see here. Cardinals have a decent roster. Obviously, Hopkins being out is going to hurt them. But, you know, I think that even with Hopkins, I think this Dallas Cowboys team, as they're playing right now, would still have a great shot at beating them. Yeah, Cardinals are 10-5 right now. Lost 3 straight. Just not looking like a great football team. So hopefully the Cowboys are able to stack on top of their performance this week. Obviously, they're not going to score 56 points probably again for a long time, if ever. This is actually the most points, I think, in franchise history ever scored. So this is we're watching history in the making here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a pretty great game. But hopefully they can build on this performance on the offense. You know, the Cowboys offense has been struggling these past few weeks, really ever since Dak came back with the calf injury. Just haven't clicked, really. It was penalties, drop passes. Dak just has looked super rusty. Ground game is virtually non-existent. So it was great to see everything kind of explode, you know, yesterday against a terrible football team. And hopefully it's a stepping stone they can use to progress and keep this momentum going, moving forward in the playoffs. Looking like I don't think the Packers are going to lose again this season. So it's looking like Dallas will probably finish the number 2 seed, which is actually really good. That means all of the games they play up until the NFC Championship game, if they make it that far, will be at home. Too bad that the Packers will probably be the team they have to visit in that NFC Championship game. And all you Cowboys fans just absolutely hate Aaron Rodgers. I know I do. Cannot stand his personality. I mean, personally, not to attack the guy personally, but he's so arrogant and cocky. And on top of that, he's a great football player. It's kicked our ass a couple times. He's knocked us out of the playoffs twice now. Really, Tony Romo's last season, 2014, where he was in, the entire season. That was a magical year. And obviously the year of the Dez catch, that wasn't a catch, but actually was a catch. Knocked us out of that game. And then again in 2016, another magical season. That was Dak and Zeke's rookie year. Just amazing season. And again, Cowboys lose to Aaron Rodgers on a miraculous play. It's like a 30-yard completion on, 3rd and like 29 or something. And they kicked the field goal 54 yards and win the game. So I think I speak for all Cowboys fans when I say that just can't stand Aaron Rodgers. Please retire someday soon. But, if they get to go to Lambeau in the conference championship game this season, hopefully they can make amends and right the wrongs of the past and kick his ass and get to the Super Bowl. But getting ahead of myself, that's what it's looking like was going to happen. But, we'll see. Still have a lot of football here left to play. NFC playoff picture is looking pretty solid. I think we know pretty much who's going to be in except for that last spot. We got Packers at the 1st spot here, Cowboys 2nd seed, Rams 3rd seed, Bucks 4th seed, Cardinals 5th seed. Then you have the 49ers and the Eagles. So as it stands right now, the Eagles of all teams would be in the playoffs. That's actually shocking given the start they had to their season, but they're 8-7 right now, and they are one of the wild card teams. So we'll see if it's possible the Saints can take them down. We'll see if the Eagles last to get into the playoffs. They have been playing really good ball lately. Jalen Hurts is looking really good, so we'll see what happens there. But this Cowboys team is dominant. When you have a defense that's as good as they are, and an offense that can be as good as it was yesterday, as far as the Cowboys go, I just don't know who can stop them in the NFL. I know they're not going to score 56 points a week, but when you have Dak Prescott playing at the elite level he was playing before the calf injury and before his recent slump, and you have the defense now playing at the absolute dominant level that they're playing. Guys, I'm 30 years old. I'm young, right? I started watching football probably maybe 2001. I was a young kid. I think I was in middle school at the time. I have never seen a defense this dominant on this Dallas Cowboys team since I've been watching football. I don't know how the defenses looked in the 90s. I know it was a really good defense back then, but I didn't get to watch them. Obviously, I was a little too young. This is the best defense Cowboys have had since I've started watching football. Hands down, not even close. And it's not even that they're getting just turnovers, which the turnovers are great. They're getting these turnovers like I've never seen before. But they're forcing 3 and outs. They're stopping teams in their tracks. I mean, teams aren't kicking field goals on them these last few weeks. It's just been a mad rush to the quarterback now that you've got Lawrence back with Gregory and Parsons and Gallimore. It's a nonstop, relentless pass rush. And as long as they can limit teams on the ground, this pass rush is virtually unstoppable. It's almost like what the Giants had, and I think it's better than what the Giants had in 2007, when they had Strahan and Human and all those guys. I think it's even better than that pass rush. And obviously you saw what they did with an average quarterback and Eli Manning and a well above average defense. As long as you can run the ball in the playoffs and you have a great defense, you can go far. Now, if you can throw the ball like we did yesterday, even better, and you can put teams in a hole where they're down multiple possessions, multiple scores, that's really when you can tee off on the quarterback and let this defense go. So I'm excited to see what happens the remainder of the season. Let's not get too high, guys. 56 points. It was absolutely mind-blowing yesterday what happened. I don't really have words to describe what we saw, just the onslaught, the embarrassment. The Washington football team can take those benches and just shove it right up their booty holes, because it didn't do anything but warm their toasty butts into fighting each other on the sideline, which, let me just say, that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. As a fan of the game, I absolutely love seeing the opposing team just fall apart on the sidelines. I don't know what 94 was thinking, putting his finger in the other guy's face. Absolutely deserved to get punched. But what an embarrassment it is for that team right now. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you like to see out of this Cowboys team moving forward? What do you have for predictions for the playoffs? Are they going to get to the Super Bowl this year? Are they going to beat Aaron Rodgers in the conference championship game? Is Aaron Rodgers going to get to the championship game? I guess we'll see, guys. But let me know what you think below. If you like my content, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. See ya.